I'm Steve and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a short video about how the oil pump works, and I'm going to be dismantling this and cleaning it because I did this 25 years ago. Now the other day I've been transferring all my videotapes onto the computer and I found some clips that are made in this garage 25 years ago. And one of them is a clip about this, so I'm going to play that clip first and then I'm going to come back here and dismantle this and rebuild it. What I will do is actually lap this. I've got a lapping plate, or get a flat surface with a bit of emery cloth and make sure that it's all nice and flat, because there's all gum and goo and scratched, so the flatter that is the better it will actually make up with this surface. And the same with this, I'll rub this with over a bit of emery cloth, or maybe even lap it, so they've got the minimum clearance between the gear and the surface. So that will make it more efficient. That's about it. This is a lapping plate that I made work. It's just a bit of mild steel. I've ground it flat and ground grooves in it, and that is a lapping plate. So, and I've put plenty of oil in there. Just simply lap it That's not bad. I'll do a little bit more, that's all it takes really. The reason I'm doing this is so that I know it's dead flat. There's no little lumps and bumps and scratches. You can see that's very good really. It's done 62,000, there's hardly any wear on there. What I've decided to do with this is not use lapping paste on here in case it gets inside and I can't get it out properly. I'm going to do this one dry, with a bit of wet and dry, and I'm actually going to pull that up so that the gear doesn't touch the wet and dry. I don't really want to take any material off of the face of the gear. So between this face and the gears, and it's about 3 thou. That is a 3 thou feeler, and that is a straight edge. So the 3 thou goes under there. Under the idler it goes quite loose actually, and it is just over 3 thou, which is right. You don't want it too, you don't want it less than that, you don't want it more than that. So that is okay. So I'm happy with that. The clip you just saw was 25 years ago, and after I did that, I built the engine. I put this in. I put the sump on, and then it sat in the corner of my garage without a sump plug in it. And at one point, I don't know when, but at one point the moisture's got in there and made that rusty there. So I'm just gonna take it all apart again and clean it basically. I think I need the vise. Ah, wow, look at that. I did these up really tight. Wow, there you go. I did them up really tight and it's actually broke the spring washer, so I'm going to renew those spring washers. There's a blessing in disguise. Actually, that spring washer is different to that one. Let's have a look at this one. So that's an original spring washer. It's a little bit wider. You usually find that new spring washers are not that wide. I think one of the spring washers must have broken before, and I've put this is a modern spring washer, and as you can see it's not so wide. So how it works is, this is the pickup pipe, so the gears go in this direction, and then the oil just flows through. It just creates a vacuum here and pushes it down this hole into the drilling in the engine block, out of that hole, and then round all the different oil ways within the block. One thing I find a little strange with this design is this relief valve here. So this relief valve, when you push it right down, it reveals two holes in the side, and they've put this shroud around there to stop the oil coming out sideways for some reason, so the oil will go down into the sump. I think it may be to stop the oil foaming up a bit, because if the relief valve goes out this way, then it could stir up the oil and make it foamy, and you don't really want that. But what I found a bit strange with this, instead of putting a shoulder here to stop this plunger coming out, they haven't done that. They've relied on the plunger hitting the gears. Now the thing is, let's round this way, the thing is that it only hits the gears when it's stationary, because as soon as the car starts up, it creates pressure. It creates pressure this side, and then it pushes that down, because there's not much tension when it's up that far. But when you push it down further, it's quite a bit of tension there. So those marks there are only when the pump first starts up. But I still find it a bit strange that that is designed to actually hit on the ends of the gears here. That's good. These were the spring washers that came out, and when I took it out, one broke. These three here are the original from the manufacturer, and the last time I did it, one broke, and the only one I could find was this, which, as you can see, most modern spring washers are this size. But I've looked through my drawer of spring washers and I managed to find these. So they're not quite such a big diameter as the original, but they're bigger than these ones. So this is what I'm going to be using. This gear only goes in one way. You might think that it would go both ways, but as you can see, one side of the gear is worn and the other side's not, obviously, because it goes in one direction. So the worn side of this gear has got to go against the worn side of this gear, otherwise this won't fit in. So it goes in there lovely. If I turn it round, for some reason it won't go in at all. I don't quite understand why that is, but anyway, that's the way it goes in. So I've got engine oil in here, put the relief valve in. I'm just going to line them marks up where they were, like that. And then put it together. It's not obvious which way round this goes, but you can see the outline of where it was. So we put the O-ring on first, and then that goes like that, and the O-ring pops through that hole. So just knit these up first. They're just hand tight, and then I'm going to hold it in the vise there and do it up with this big screwdriver. So I just need to fit this filter like that. A little bit loose, but it's not going to go anywhere. So that's done now. The thing with these is you might get a pump and go like that and it don't sound very nice, but it's the plunger, it's the end of this plunger touching the gears. So, you know, I'm not worried because I know that that's working how it should do, even though it sounds a bit horrible. You know, as soon as that spins fast, the pressure builds up and lifts the plunger anyway, and it doesn't touch. So when I've got the engine in the car and I'm ready to start it, before I start it, I'm going to try to prime this pump by taking the pipe off that goes up to the rocker shaft and fixing a funnel on there somehow and filling the oil ways up with oil, and so that would give this a better chance of pumping, because when there's air in there it would take a few seconds before it does suck the oil, or that way, before it sucks the oil into here. Obviously you want oil pressure right from the very start, so that's what I will try to do. After reading the workshop manual, I realised that these pumps are self-priming. That means that the gears are permanently under the level of the oil in the sump, and the actual filter bowl there, on the top face of that bowl there's a tiny little hole, and that is to let the air out, so there's no airlock under the filter bowl. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.